And one final question, Mr. Bryant. What do you see that makes this trader so special?
I see a calmness. There's a serious calmness about him, which is extremely deadly. Right? Because he's not up, he's not down, he's not contemplating what just happened before or worrying about what's to come next. He's just there.
All right, I'm long inside of this fair value gap. Looking to take a small partial above this high. All right, I'm going short here. Come on now, that's too easy.
I come on record and tell y'all, when it comes to legalized bank robbing, I'm the best.
I'm buying this fair value gap. I'll take that.
This motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
No.
Here we go. Let's do this thing. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Let's go. Who we got in here? Ryan, Alif, Paulo, Unicorn Queen, Sachel, Mickey, Chintz. Let's go. JP. Let's do this thing. Second stream of the day. This one's public, obviously. Here we go. Every time I start doing roll call, everybody wants to start. Yannick, Twantrays, Marky, Melee, Gulf Coast Bama. What's up, bro? Got a lot of familiar names in here. Ismail, Guns, Mostafa. First time watching, let's go. We're going to have some fun today. We already got somebody asking about signals. See, here we go. Here we go. Need 20 points to pass. Oh, you can flip a coin and get 20 points. You can get lucky with 20 points. You good. You got that in the bag. You close your eyes, hit buy or sell, and you'll pass it. Don't do that, though. I'm just saying. What's up, Crack Music, Sand Dip, Ishmael. Thank you, Dean. I'm having a great day. Thank God it's Friday. What's the game plan? Game plan today, walk down price. We have Fed Chair speaking at 12:30. Didn't really do much. We're just going to walk down price. Obviously, I'm not pressing buttons. That's only for the Discord group, but we're going to tape read and see if we could walk this thing down. We don't have any other news for the PM session other than Trump speaking at 3 o'clock. Let me double check that. Let's see. Yeah, President Trump speaking at 3 p.m. We probably will be getting off around that time anyway, and that's a medium impact news driver, so I'm not expecting much with that. He talks almost every day, so let's go. Was it a good week for you? It wasn't my best. Could definitely perform better. This week for me was just a lot of break-even trades and losses. Couple wins here and there on paper in the PM session. I haven't really traded my live account. I'm still waiting to get my funds switched over to a different brokerage firm, and hopefully that's done processing by today, but hopefully by Monday. So I'm just trading on paper until I get all that switched over. It says it's still pending. So how'd you get so disciplined and accurate? Discipline is just everyday life, bro. That's a common question people ask. How do you build your discipline? How can you get more discipline when trading and stick to your rules and everything? You just gotta look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, how are you living your everyday life? If you're undisciplined with everyday tasks, you're not gonna get in this industry and follow your rules. I just realized my screen is frozen. My bad. If you tell yourself you're gonna go to the gym, go to the gym. If you tell yourself you're gonna start eating right, start eating right. If you tell yourself you're gonna start or stop smoking, you're gonna stop picking up that blunt. If that's what you tell yourself, stick to it, because you can't even do that. When you get in the market, you turn on your laptop and load up these charts. You're not gonna stick to your rules. If you tell yourself you're gonna be faithful to your girl, faithful to your man, and you're out here entertaining other people, how you gonna stick to one model? You can't even stick to one woman. I'm preaching today. So chances are, if you're not disciplined in the market, you're probably not disciplined in other areas of your life. That's just facts. It's just facts. I like how ICT put it. Trading is just a reflection of yourself. If you're reckless in the real world, if you're arrogant, if you're stuck up, you're gonna act like that in the market, and you're gonna get your behind handed to you. If you're stubborn, if you're greedy, if that's the kind of person you are, you get into the markets, it's gonna show. If you're cool, calm, collected, you're not one for the drama, you handle your business in your everyday life, chances are when you get into the market, you have a better chance of not going on tilt and all that stuff. So it starts with stuff outside of the chart. I'm waiting for 1:30 so we can get our first presented fair value gap for the PM session. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Like the live, share the live, and let's go. So for starters, as far as, and I shared this with the Discord community earlier, we had 2 streams today. We had a private stream this morning, and we're back on here for the PM publicly here on YouTube. But the sell side here was our focus for the weekly forecast. Okay, my latest video, we went through all that, so I'm not going to talk much about that as far as we've already hit it. So we've already met my weekly objective that I was looking for at the beginning of the week. So it's just a matter of working with intraday price action. I'll be using the 15-minute chart mainly, but daily levels and whatnot, we've already hit those. So now it's just a matter of intraday volatility and things of that sort. I'm watching this down close candle, that weekly order block. Okay, this last down close candle here prior to this move higher, looking at the opening price and drawing it through, but I rarely like to keep weekly levels on my chart just because they're really broad. I like to opt for daily. So what I'm going to do is put our current new day opening gap here. Okay, again, if you want to draw your new day opening gaps on your chart using the daily time frame, you have to have this turned off. Okay, that cannot be turned on. That should be checked off, and then settlement should be turned off. So it should not be blue, because if it is, you're drawing your new day opening gap like that, and it's not correct. So that should be turned off. And I'm going to put on previous days highs and lows within the last 3 days, key reference points for liquidity. So we have an old daily low there, looking back day 1, day 2, and day 3 here. Let's see, old daily lows with our current new day opening gap. And in the stream, we've highlighted this fair value gap. Let's see, do we take out that sell side? Just fell short of it. But earlier this morning, we're looking at this daily inefficiency. We're looking to see how far can price trade underneath this sell side. We had this daily fair value gap, including the volume imbalance. So that'll look something like this here. All right, traded into that. And then we had the sell side inside of that fair value gap, and then the low here. So we traded down, just fell short of the sell side. And I'm just going to keep that fair value gap on my chart, but I'm going to use a horizontal line instead. Let's see, daily, busy, high. And then I'll go ahead and annotate the sell side just in case we want it. That's something we're looking at earlier this morning. So I'll keep that on the chart. And that's about as busy as I wanted to get on the higher time frame. Shove down to a 15-minute chart. All right, so we have old daily lows that we've traded down into. Again, there's that daily fair value gap here. And NFP doing damage on the upside, clearing out all the stops, working the breaker here. You have your high, low, higher high, trading into that, taking out buy side. So my thought process right now is if we wanted to go lower, I wouldn't be interested in seeing this high taken, simply given the fact that NFP has already done the damage of running out the equal highs. So that's something I'm watching. And if we were to take out this high here, then that tells me that we may want to aim for something higher, perhaps the buy side, inefficiencies through here and whatnot. So as long as we keep that 830 high intact, I favor the sell side. If we start breaching that and getting above it, then NASDAQ may want to run for some levels up here. Before we drop down to a lower time frame, let's go look at other markets real quick. Let's look at S&P. Pretty much looks the same. Dow, a little messy in here. But again, as far as what I'm expecting as the entire trading day, I'm not expecting much because the daily and weekly have already reached higher time frame objectives, and we've already hit TGIF for the week. We have already tagged that 20% retracement of the weekly candle. So there's not really much that I'm requiring NASDAQ to do. Let's look at dollar index. Looking at that gap for dollar, trading down to that nicely. Getting movement higher. If dollar stays bullish, if it stays strong to the upside, then I'll be expecting lower prices in NASDAQ. Ideally, that's what I'd like to look for. Inverse relationship there. All right, let's go down to a 5-minute chart. Again, watching to see if we leave that high intact. Let's go to a 1 minute. And your opening range for the PM session, I'm going to take these daily levels off. These are old daily lows. I'm keeping them back in my mind that we have an old daily low around 20,000. That's what I was targeting in yesterday's trade. And then we have an old daily low here at around, I'll just say 20,100. But just for the sake of keeping my charts clean, visually it's not there, but it's in the back of my mind. But 1:30 p.m. starts your PM session, and then your 1:30 to 2 p.m. opening range. That's your time window to find your first fair value gap for the PM session. And then you have your first presented fair value gap here. Crazy gamer, you gotta invest in some new headgear, my guy. Audio should be fine. I'm looking at the feedback, it's all good. Discount, not that. So there we go. It's a YouTube thing. If the audio, whatever, it's your YouTube. It's not on my end. YouTube does something with the audio based on your device. When I listen to some videos on my iPad, like when I watch ICT content on my iPad, it's loud, it's clear, but when I watch it on my laptop, it's a little faint, so it's on your end. So working the first presented fair value gap from the morning session that came in at 9:36 this morning. And if I'm being honest, I prefer lower prices. I'm not going to marry that idea if it's obviously not in the chart, only because I would like to see some more work down in this region. But I'm going to let the first 30 minutes do its thing. I'll see what price is looking like come 2 o'clock. Get that first fair value gap for the PM, and then we'll go from there. Look to frame a silver bullet set up between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. Why don't you count any fair value gap? No, you're not supposed to use a fair value gap right at 9:30. It has to be 9:31 or after. I am making note of these equal highs, but again, I'm submitting the first 30 minutes. So first presented fair value gap for the PM session. Let me make sure that's right. Comes in at 136. At this point in time, I want to see if that can act as a breakaway gap, meaning I prefer for that to stay open. And if NASDAQ wants to equal highs, then that's something that I'll be observing, see if we can leave that unfilled, and then I'll treat this up close candle here as a mitigation block. This is our current new day opening gap, roughly 50 handles away. Mitigation block is just when you have a low, high, and a higher low. So this low here does not take out this previous low, which makes this a mitigation block. If we had a low, high, lower low, then this would be a breaker. But I'm watching this up close candle, if that can take us into our current new day opening gap, and possibly the relative equal highs up here. Using that 136 p.m. fair value gap, which is your first presented fair value gap. I want that to act as a breakaway gap, meaning I don't want to see that traded too. So that's what I'm watching visually. Quick glance at S&P, Dow. They've all made higher highs. And we had a little S&T down here at the lows. Dow made a lower low, while S&P made a higher low, and NASDAQ made a higher low. So S&T there, and then I'm watching the low, the new day opening gap as a draw. If we can accelerate through midpoint of that, then buy side may be on the menu. Because I already know people are gonna new first time watchers. I'll just put that disclosure right there. Look and see if we can reach the low of that new day opening gap. First presented fair value gap being used as support, the body's respecting it. And then again the SMT, and then the breakaway gap. Anything, this is just my logic, anything underneath that 136 p.m. fair value gap, to me that's indicating that NASDAQ isn't as bullish as I would like, because ideally you would want to see that stay open. This is the first fair value gap that's leaving this consolidation. So again, that's why I'm treating it as a breakaway gap. And in order to trade to this fair value gap, we have to get through the mitigation block and through the fair value gap here. And to me, that's not bullish. So a lot of people ask, fair value gap staying open, how do you pick breakaway fair value gaps? Is based on that logic. In order to trade to this fair value gap, we have to get through the mitigation block. And if you're familiar with ICT core content month 5, where he's talking about the PD array matrix, mitigation blocks are higher on the hierarchy other than compared to fair value gaps. No, Hunter, for real. It's funny though. It's funny. Now, a lot of people may see this and say, and this is a common misconception when it comes to breakers and mitigation blocks. They'll see this up close candle and we trade through it and they'll say, you know, oh, it didn't give me an entry. And this is not me telling you to buy it, okay? This is not a trade signal. This is just a teaching point for future references. But they'll see this mitigation block, or it'll be a breaker, and then we trade through it and then we just keep rallying higher. A lot of people, they'll trade the breaker or mitigation block the classic way, which is we get above this up close candle and then we come back down, and then they'll use that as a buy and then take it higher. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes what I use for entries, again, this is not a trade signal. What I use for entries is if we have that up close candle and we get a closure above it, the next candle that opens and trades down, you can use that as an entry, trusting that this fair value gap here is going to stay open. So you can feel comfortable placing your stop underneath this up close candle, because sometimes you won't get that leave, come back, then get that rally. So as soon as we get a closure above that high and we open trade down, you can buy it there. And then any return back to it can be like a pyramid entry or something of that sort. That's not saying to buy it. That's just a general rule of thumb for all breakers, all mitigation blocks. That's what's up, Robert. No, we tape read it this morning session. I'm not trading today. Weekly, daily targets and all that have already been tagged. So we've already hit TGIF. We've already hit our daily levels. There's nothing really for me worth engaging in. We had nice delivery all throughout the week. Let's see. So I'm still watching. Do we leave that open? If we trade through that, then to me that's heaviness in the NASDAQ. But as long as we leave that open, treat it as a breakaway gap, then higher prices is still good. So I'm monitoring that right there. What ICT playlist do you recommend? That's probably the most common asked question I get. I get asked two most common questions. The first one is, what are your chart colors? People ask me that I get maybe 3 or 4 messages of that every day. And then they always ask, what order should I study ICT? What playlist do you recommend? And I always give the same answer. Anything on ICT's YouTube channel will make you money. It's not the playlist. It's not the order. It doesn't matter if you go with the 2022 playlist, 23, 24, 25, the 2026 playlist, 2027 playlist. It doesn't matter. It's for one, like, you just have to start and take notes. It doesn't matter. Like, because I got into ICT in 2023, that's the playlist that I started with. But if I got introduced to ICT in 2022, then I would have went with that playlist. If I got introduced to ICT in 2024, I would have just followed along with the 2024 playlist. So it's not a matter of which one's better or so-and-so. If it's on his channel, if ICT uploaded it, it can make you money. It's your work ethic. It's how you study. Are you not just watching his videos, but actually going into your own charts, taking notes? That's what really matters. Still looking at the low of that new day opening gap, see if we want to reach that. The red notebook, only real ones know about the red notebook. That one's mine, man. I'm not gonna lie. But it's nothing special. Like the red notebook, those are my handwritten 2023 notes. But the only reason I'm not sharing those is because that's my first time getting into ICT. And those are like my notes from the period between when I was unprofitable to where I started finding consistency. That notebook and my notes, that was my whole timeline. That highlights the entire process of me slowly understanding, slowly getting things. You know, that notebook consists of a whole year of just me grinding it out, 3 a.m, late nights, and just studying, trying to put the pieces together. But those notes, it's the same way I take notes in the 2024, like Discord members, the 2024 notes and the 2025 notes that are in those channels. It's the same stuff that I have for the 2023 playlist. It's just I don't share my 2023 notes because they're real personal to me, because I was going through a period of unprofitability while taking those notes. So I don't want to share those because there was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that went into that stuff. but it's nothing different than what I've already shared in the Discord. So beautiful reaction there. Mitigation block, fair value gap. Again, do we want to see this traded to? No. If NASDAQ is bullish, we will want to see that stay open. But yeah, there is, as far as the playlist, it doesn't matter, man. Just pick a playlist, start, and just take notes. That's all that matters. That's all that matters, I'm trying to tell you. I'm watching this down close candle. Really, these series, these 3 consecutive down close candles, that's one bullish order block. I'm watching the opening price. And then this entire wick that makes the final last down close candle. And don't be a rush to trade live funds. That's another thing. So I'm watching to see, can that propel us higher into our current new day opening gap. I'm using the body of the mitigation block just because the wick is a short, stubby little wick, so I'm not including it. The bulk of the volume is in the bodies of the candles. That's why. Pre-routine trading. Just wake up, quick prayer, shower. I've been trying to go to the gym before I stream, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really that much of a morning person. I kind of need to force myself to, because with my mentorship group and everything, my workload is it's kind of a lot, and having to go to the gym during the day takes up like an hour and a half block of my time that could be used towards content and whatever. So I need to be working out like at 6 a.m. before streams, but it hasn't been happening. But normally wake up, shower, prayer, get to the chart, live stream for the community, and then based on how the morning session went, I may have some footage to edit, get that posted for the YouTube community, and then after the stream, probably go bring my girl Starbucks at work or something, come back, take a nap, then hit the gym, work on some mentorship videos, work on some Instagram reels, work on some YouTube shorts, market reviews, pretty much trading all day round, trading related stuff all day round with breaks in between for video games and spending time with my lady and stuff like that. So I like the feedback we're getting. This last down close candle. I don't teach order blocks because ICT even said he's not teaching everything on order blocks, but from what I studied in his past mentorships, these 3 consecutive down close candles is one order block as soon as we cross the opening price, but this down close candle in itself is an order block in itself, and you can look at its opening price. So that's all I'm going to touch on when it comes to order block, because I don't like teaching stuff that he hasn't even taught completely himself. If you pray and believe, why are you working on Sundays? It's just my thing, bro. I don't think I think I'm fine. I rest on Sundays, but I think my prayer is I'm in communication with the Lord, and I think I'm doing okay. I'm exactly where I need to be. But for the most part, I try not to work on Sunday. Only thing we do on Sundays is a webinar. We have a webinar at 10 a.m. We'll spend an hour over the charts going over some things, or sometimes we'll do like a live back testing session. And I try to close my socials over the weekend to let my mind kind of come down a little bit. And yeah, this don't even feel like work, to be honest. This is like, I love it. Like, but nah. I still get work done on Sundays. I don't really take like a day off. I try to limit the amount of stuff I do on Sunday, but no. So this down close candle, its opening price all the way to the high. It's your order block. And if we tag the new day opening gap, I'm watching its midpoint. If we can eat through midpoint of the new day opening gap, get a closure past it, to me that's signs that NASDAQ is still bullish to the upside. And then we'll look for these relative equal highs up here. So that opening price, we'll just do it like this. Remember, opening price on the series of down close candles, that's one order block. And then your opening price on this last down close candle is an order block as well. From my understanding of how ICT taught it. And then there's your low of our current new day opening gap. And the logic is first presented fair value gap for the PM session, that should stay open. When price is trading up here, we're dropping down, we said anything inside of this fair value gap, to me, that signs that NASDAQ is not bullish. Why? Again, in order to get to this fair value gap, we have to eat through the mitigation block. We have to completely overlap this higher inefficiency here. Core content, month 5, PD ray matrix, hierarchy, mitigation blocks, okay, are higher on the list than fair value gap. So this should support price, and you would want to see this act as a breakaway gap and stay open. Include the volume imbalance. Trade into that first presented fair value gap for the PM. Does it show immediate feedback? Yes. That's textbook price delivery. And then we highlight the order block, new day opening gap. And now I'm watching, do we have a willingness to reach for the buy side? But in order to do that first, we need to get through that. Failure to do so is weak. Let me scroll up to the chat real quick. Do you look for a particular model? Not really. I just trade price. I feel like it's easier when you're first starting out. You definitely need a model. I'm watching this propulsion block, these two up close candles. Opening price there. It's a propulsion. Propulsion blocks acts as an accelerator for price. So I want to see that can really give price the giddy up through the new day opening gap. What was I saying? I feel like it's when you're starting out, you need a model, like a fixed model with rules and everything. But in my opinion, over time, it's just a lot easier to trade price action based on the logic. So, like, while you may see a model in here that speaks to you, my thought process is, okay, we have a mitigation block and we have a breakaway gap. You can buy the mitigation block. You can buy the fair value gap. You can buy, if we had an inversion fair value gap here, you can buy that. There's a lot of different opportunities, and I feel like it's more freedom for me personally to just not be limited to a model, but just trade what I see in the chart. But you have to work up to that point. While you're starting out, you definitely need some training wheels, which is a model. Appreciate that, legit carbon. I appreciate that. I'm scrolling up here. That's what a lot of people say, like, why are you buying above the midnight opening price if your model says, to only sell above it? Why are you selling beneath the midnight opening price? It's because that's just one model. I'm not limited to that model. I can sell beneath the midnight open. I can buy above it. If the price action in the chart, it's telling you that it wants to go higher and we're above the midnight open, I'll still buy it. Propulsion block, that opening price. Again, my focus now is midpoint of the new day opening gap. If we can get through that easily and perhaps leave a fair value gap, something of this sort, where we left the first presented fair value gap with a breakaway gap, if we can get that, if we can get that kind of speed in this region, then I'll be confident in that we're going to aim for the buy side. But right now, NASDAQ isn't getting past the low of the new day opening gap. I want to see if we can breach midpoint of it. I'm going to go ahead and put the equal highs up here just so visually we can see where we're at. Lifetime chat. Yeah, the lifetime access to the Discord is still up there. One time, because it was the lifetime sale was supposed to go away February 18th, I think, or February, something like that. And I just forgot to take it down. And then at one point I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to keep it up. So it's whatever. Because at first I was just doing the monthly subscription or the yearly subscription. And there wasn't like a lifetime thing or whatever. I did away with that. But I just took off the yearly and I just put the lifetime up there. So yes, it's still available. I saw somebody, mentorship is, the private mentorship is closed. But what I'm going to do, probably late March, early April, there's about 10 to 15 lecture videos that I'm giving the mentorship group that I'm just kind of filming for them. While I'm not going to be doing one-on-one meetings or anything like that for the private mentorship, I'm going to post maybe 3 of those lecture videos for free or whatever on YouTube. And the remaining 10 videos or whatnot would just be, will be available on WAP. Again, I'm watching midpoint of our new day opening gap. Zoom out for a little bit. Let's go to a 5-minute chart. Let's take all of this. Whoops. 5-minute. Everything looks good. Again, I'm looking for like a breakaway gap in this region, something to show a willingness to really go higher. And body stop right at midpoint of the new day opening gap. So now if you were to, this is just me just trying to get ahead of myself, but if we were to form a fair value gap up here and then start moving away, I would want that to stay open, but let me not get ahead of myself. I only live stream the morning session in Discord because I don't look at the PM session as far as like consistently every single day. So I only trade the morning session. We live stream Monday through Friday from 9:30 to about 11 o'clock. All right, so this is where I'm getting at. This is another breakaway gap tip, if you want to call it that. We have this fair value gap here. Where is this fair value gap resting in? This inefficiency, could we trade down into it? Yes, but generally speaking, that's something that I wouldn't want to see, because this inefficiency is resting in the lower half of our current new day opening gap. So ideally, and this is just best case scenario, there's nothing wrong trading to this fair value gap. It's just something I prefer not to see. But ideally, once we show willingness to get above either the high of the new day opening gap or above midpoint, then any PD array, this can be an order block. This can be like if you have something like this here. So let's say you have a bullish breaker. Anything in the lower half of this new day opening gap, I would rather not see that traded to, and I would like to find support in any PD array that's in the upper half of the new day opening gap. And that's how I would frame a breakaway gap, or that's when I wouldn't expect a breaker to be traded to, or if we have like an inversion fair value gap down here, you get the point. So what does it mean if we do trade into it? Well, just like we talked about here, can we stab into it? We did here by a little bit, but if we completely overlap it, to me, that signs that price is not as bullish as I would like. That's a telltale sign that it's a little weak, it's a little heavy, because whenever you have an anticipated breakaway gap and it gets filled in or completely overlapped, that's telling me like, it's not as strong as I prefer. So we get the breakaway gap staying open here, and then the same logic I'm applying here, which is I prefer to see that stay open. Completely overlapped it. Does that kill the idea that we're likely to go higher and take out the buy side? Not necessarily. But if I'm in a trade and I'm holding longs from anywhere down here or here or here, this is kind of like a caution sign. It gets my attention. I may be more inclined to take partials when we take out this high, or I may not feel as confident in holding for this target. I may want to start scaling out. So that's how I use fair value gaps as far as measuring strength. If they stay open, do we overlap it? Things of that sort. Fun little technical stuff. Let's check on S&P and Dow. So S&P pretty much looks the same. Dow looks the same. Dollar index gravitating higher. That's kind of suspect for NASDAQ. If dollar starts getting really animated to the upside, that can bring high resistance in NQ. It can make it harder for NASDAQ to want to rally. Let me see. I think we're going to stay on here till about 3 o'clock, by the way. How much capital do you trade with? I'll be pushing 6 figures. I don't do prop firms. I have live funds, but probably, what are we in March? Probably the start of May, I'll be trading 6 figures in my own money. Broker, I'm using Interactive Brokers. I used to use TradeStation, but there's some foolishness going on, and I was just losing too much money simply due to slippage and not being able to get me out at the right price. And they made it right. I had to call them and tell them like, yo, what's going on? And they took a look into their servers or whatever, and they ended up reimbursing me like $800 or whatever, because they're like, my stop loss orders were not filling. I'm fine with normal slippage. $20 here, $30 here in slippage. You get out a few points late, that's fine. But if my stop loss is set at $100, why am I losing almost $1,000? It's unacceptable. So they did make it right by giving me my money back, but I still had to leave them. So I'm switching to Interactive Brokers. AMP was taking too long. AMP's customer service was too slow. I'm emailing. Their live chat is slow. They're just slow. They're real slow. So it was taking too long to just get the application account approval from AMP. So Interactive Brokers is who I'll be doing business with for the rest of the year. Appreciate that, Emmanuel. Absolutely. Trade-Evate, I would never go to Trade-Evate. Screw Trade-Evate. They would never get my business. No, sir. I remember when I was trading Forex with FTMO, Trade-Evate stayed having problems. I don't know if it was just a prop firm thing, but Trade-Evate was trash, bro. They'll always be doing some kind of maintenance, or they'll just be pulling some foolishness. Their servers would be down. It was like there was a period in prop firms where Trade-Evate was acting up like every week. I never traded live funds with them, but you would never see me with a Trade-Evate account. It's not happening. Nah. There's not a chance. I'll start my own brokerage before I go to Trade-Evate. Just take out this mitigation block. I think a rotation here is reasonable. We just talked about dollar working higher. That makes it for NASDAQ to have a sustained rally. And then we talked about seeing an inefficiency like this get run over. Like that was a caution sign. We talked about a closure above midpoint of the new day opening gap. You would want to see us work the upper half of that. So any inefficiency or any PD array that's revisited and disrespected in the lower half of that makes it kind of like we said, suspect. That's like a caution sign. That's why I said if we were to take out this high, you might want to consider taking partials. I may not be as confident holding for targets like this because that small little insight right there is telling me that it's a little weak. Who is that guy said he only needed 20 points to pass his combine thing or whatever? Mitigation block, fair value gap. Get your 20 points. There you go. You pass your combine or your challenge thinking. You don't have to do that. You can, as soon as this candle closes above the mitigation block, and we talk about this entry, we trade down on this candlestick. And then there you go. There's your 20-point scalp, one candle, and you're funded, and you got fun with that. Man, I can't recommend brokers. Little 2 bands. You save me from a drop. I think I have an office in Manhattan, New York. Yeah. I think AMP is based in Chicago, and Interactive Brokers is I think they're in Manhattan. Yesterday, I blew my 2K account trading NQ instead of micros. That's tough. That's tough. You gotta lock in, bro. That's tough. This is all nasty in here. Why does Apple do that with the mouse? Like how it enlarges like that? What's the point of that? Looks like we may form a bullish breaker. So we have this low, we made a high, and then we ran the stops underneath that low. If we were to get above that high, then I'll treat that as a breaker and want that to send us higher, use that as support. Lokin 33, Jameson. I don't know what you're talking about. What capital did you start with? I started same that everybody else started. I started with $1,000. Like if you go on my Instagram, I have a story highlight on my Instagram with like some trade executions that I'm taking on my phone. And if you go back to like the very first few, like I was only trading 2 micros at a time. Matter of fact, let me pull it up. Let's see, I'll get the dates on them. So September 11th, 2024, I was trading 6 micros at the time. September 18th, 6 micros. September 18th, I'm trading 6 micros. I was aiming for about $300, and this is my live account. And $300 for me, that was like a real good day. And then let's see, September 23rd, 4 micros. Then I upped to like 8 micros around October. Yeah. And then I don't think I traded a mini contract until a while. November 6th. November 6th, I believe, was when I started trading 1 mini. And then I had my first $1,000 day in December, I believe. So it's just been, it's just gradual. You blown 20 accounts. Listen, man, if you blew 20 accounts this month, you gotta stop buying challenges. You gotta buy it. Dude, that's tough. 20 challenges in a month, bro. That's tough, man. That's really tough. Got some trolls in the chat, but it's all good. He could stay. It's too early to tell him to get a bowl of Cheerios. He could stay in the chat. He or she, I don't know. But if you blew that many challenges, I'll be honest, I recommend just tape reading. Because when I was with FTMO or whatever, like I'll fail a challenge, buy a challenge. Fail a challenge, buy a challenge. Fail a challenge, buy 2 more challenges. And the time period between when you fail a challenge and when you buy another one, like nothing changed. And that's something that I couldn't realize in the moment. I would fail a FTMO challenge or whatever, and right after I fail, I'm in there buying another one. Pray tell, what changed in that short 5-minute time span between when I failed a challenge and when I bought another one? Nothing changed. That purchase was strictly based on emotion. I was waiting for some magic to happen. You know, when I buy this reset, then I'll get funded. I failed that challenge. Let me buy one more reset. Okay, this is the one. This is the one. I fail it. I'll buy two more. All right, this is it. Like this, I'm feeling good. Price action's cleaner. I'll fail it, buy another one. And nothing has changed in my trading. I didn't back test. I didn't study. I didn't give myself time to develop or cover what I did wrong. And before I knew it, I lost thousands of dollars and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. That's tough. That's tough. But save your money, man. Put that money like forget the challenges. Bro, prop firms are trash. I'm sorry. Put your money in a real brokerage firm. But look, I recommend this. And continue to paper trade, tape read, and save money. Forget the challenges. Like, dude, forget the prop firms. Prop firms have the trading community by the balls. It's really sad. I'm not even gonna lie. Like that's just the truth. Like Top Step, Apex, My Funded Futures. What are the other ones? FTMO. They have the trading community by the balls, and that's just how it is. Like they have everybody in a chokehold. People think that's the only way. Like I'm telling you. But anyway, save your money. Don't blow your money on challenges. Allow yourself to develop and become profitable first, and then take a look at how much you save. Put that into a real brokerage. I tell people this all the time, and it doesn't make sense, but I'd rather make $500 real money in a real brokerage than $800, $1,000 with a prop firm. That prop firm, you got a profit split. You got to have minimum 5 trading days with at least $200, all kind of crazy stuff. And it's, bro, save your money. Save your money, bro. You're literally fighting an uphill battle. You're trying to work with a company who wants you to fail. In what other world is that good business? Be honest. If we being real, the company wants you to fail. That's how they get paid. People failing 20 challenges in a month, and I'm not trying to make fun of anybody, but if you're failing 15, 20 challenges, you're the number one customer. They can't wait for you, because I was at that point. I was failing FTMO challenges all over the place. And I'm walking right back through the front door with my hands raised. I'm back. And they'll welcome me with open arms. They love me. FTMO love me. They're probably still trying to reach out. Where's that Tremaine dude? He gave us $5,000 in a span of 2 months. Where he at? But you're pressing so hard in a business, in an industry, in a business model that doesn't want you to succeed, and they're winning. Focus on yourself, save that money, put it in a real brokerage. That's just my 2 cents from personal experience, something that I wish somebody would have told me before I kept giving money to these companies. That's just my 2 cents. All right, so anyway, we're above this up close candle, and we're above the new day opening gap. If we take, this is how I visualize it. Let me handle this chat real quick. Loken 33 Jameson, he's getting his feelings hurt. He must be on his cycle or something. Let me, hormones, I understand. Let me go ahead and get him up out of here real quick. 5-minute timeout, that's not even that bad. So we have a breaker here, low, high, lower low, and we're now above our current new day opening gap. So anything in the upper half of that new day opening gap, I would want to find support in. So what is that? If we were to trade down to this fair value gap, I'm fine with that. If we were to trade down to the breaker, that's cool with me. Would I want to see, let's say, a return back to this inversion fair value gap? No, because we're violating the upper half of that new day opening gap. I have breakaway. Let me see. Let me find it. Because I had breakaway gap videos on my channel. I'm going to find it. 1 second. Yeah, he must have blew his account or something. He was real salty. Usually I recognize the trolls in the live stream because they always come back. But he must have been new. Channel's growing. I love it. Let's see. This is the one. So whoever wants to know more about breakaway gaps or how to anticipate them or whatever the case may be, I'm sending a link in the chat room. This is a video I made months ago, but it's really helpful. There you go. That should help you out. You can save that. How do you trade NQ if you're outside the US? You can't. The US is very strict on who they allow to trade their markets. You could trade the indices. You could trade NAS 100. It's pretty much the same thing, but the futures is only for US residents. Or you could probably find a broker or something doing some shady stuff, but I don't recommend going that route. And there's buy side. Let's see how much farther NASDAQ can reasonably reach for. Have all these imbalances in here. We have buy side above this high. That's quite a ways. Let's see. It's almost 250 handles. I'm not going to demand that. This is a good objective for today. And then for those in the Discord earlier this morning, that daily fair value gap. And then you saw the little execution I sent out earlier, just for practice. So that's a nice exit. This will conclude my PM session. Any longs in here? First presented fair value gap from the morning. We talked about the breakaway gap, the mitigation block, and all that stuff should offer support. I'll be content with the PM session after that. I wouldn't care for anything else. Look around, let's see. Tremaine missed the whole move yapping again. You missed the title of this live stream, my guy. Tape reading. I only trade in Discord. Funny guy. Silly goose. Silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids. Let's see. I was going to do something. Oh, I was going to look at ES. ES, NASDAQ, Dow, all clearing out its NFP highs. Oh man, I'm so glad it's Friday, bro. The weekends is so relaxing just to unwind, study, enjoy a hobby. It's just peaceful. So peaceful. Weather here is cloudy, windy, a little chilly. Yeah, funny. I got it, man. That's the way ICT has so many people, like, I can go on a whole. People bring up the ICT Robbins Cup. They're so concerned about another man's performance more than their own. It's hilarious. And ICT, he talked about the whole bait trap with the Robbins Cup. People are eating it up. It's crazy. It's crazy work. If you watch the 2025 playlist, he won the Robbins Cup in a real brokerage account when he showed all his account statements. That's none of my business, though. And you can't fake it. That's illegal if you're showing and advertising that you made money when you didn't. And I think ICT has too much to lose to put all his stuff in jeopardy like that by showing fake account statements. But he made a pretty nice return on I think he started off with like a 10K account balance or something. But regardless, he could fail the Robbins Cup, win the Robbins Cup. I could care less what he does. I'm grateful for his teachings and his concepts, but I'm more focused on my own trading than another man's results. Wanting to see if NASDAQ wants to dig into that 15-minute fair value gap. I'm not sure if we traded into it. Just fell short of it. There's some balance here. Gonna extend that forward should NASDAQ want to reach into it. That wick is too long. Opting for this here. Let's do this and we'll do that. Danny Trades? Who's Danny Trades? Actually a prop firm trader, so I have a doubt that if I only have 200. Prop firm trader, if I only have $200. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. If you only have $200, you shouldn't be buying a challenge. Just save your money, bro. What, like, just save your money, dude. If you only have $200, you're not, and I'm not trying to be crude, but you're not gonna turn that $200 into a meal. Like, you're better off just saving that money and continuing to study. And don't give your last 200 to a prop firm. Save it. Save it. It's like, if that's all you got, if that's, save it. Especially if you're still seeking consistency, if you don't have a sound model yet, you don't give your last couple dollars to a prop firm. Don't do it. And then psychology-wise, you're going to go in a tailspin because you're going to be trading that account with the knowledge, like, in the back of your mind while you're trading that combine. That's going to mess with you, psychologically, because you're going to be, this is my last 100. Man, like, I bought this combine. I got no more money after this. I got to perform. Once you start doing that, it's over with. That's why people who quit their jobs from being funded, you should not quit your job if you only have funded accounts. That's the dumbest thing ever. You need money in a real brokerage firm, preferably 6 figures, and a good life savings emergency fund to even consider quitting your job. Why are you quitting your job and you're funded with Top Step? That's some foolishness. That's some foolishness. One broken rule and you're back at McDonald's. Like, we can't be doing that. See, and you have people in the chat, it's only $200. What do you have to lose? That's the problem. You're thinking about the money. It's only $200. What's the worst that can happen? You're not considering the mindset. What happens when you blow that 200? How are you going to be feeling mentally after that? What if that's your third failed combine this week? How are you going to feel? It's only $200. Yeah, it's $200, but you scarred yourself. And that's worth way more than $200, but that's the part that people don't talk about. I'm trying to tell y'all. It's the trap, man. The prop firms love hearing that. Prop firms, man, Top Step, Apex, they love hearing, it's only $200. We're offering a 100K account. It's on sale for $99. It's only $200. What's the worst that could happen? If you lose, you just buy another one. It's $200. And you're just scarring yourself, scar tissue, trauma. I'm trying to help somebody. Just save your money. Save your money and just study. Because I was doing the same crap. Man, I'm telling y'all, if I like, and this is real talk, I've lost thousands of dollars trading with Forex, supply and demand, trying to get funded with FTMO. I promise you, I wish I still had that $5,000 today. I still feel that. Like, it doesn't go away. Like, the bank account is good now. Like, you know what I mean? But, dude, if you're trying to give your last $200 to your prop firms, just save it. Spend it on your girlfriend or something. If you want to give away $200, spend it on your girl. Buy your mom some cologne, some perfume. Don't give them your last $200, bro. Because if you lose that last $200, you're gonna be feeling sorry for yourself. Just study. Just study. Hopefully somebody's listening. That's what prop firms won't tell you. And prop firms are good. Don't get me wrong. Like, prop firms, if that's your only, like, if you can't fund your account with a side hustle, or if your job doesn't pay enough to put some scratch to the side to fund your personal account, definitely take advantage of the prop firms while they're here. But you should not be spending your last dollar and your hopes and prayers on passing the combine. At that point, that's a toxic relationship. That's toxic. It's toxic. And people are saying it's only $200. We talking about your last $200. If you blow on your last $200 mentally, it's not it. It's not it, man. Save your money, get the skill set, and then when you're ready, and you'll know when you're ready, then go for a prop firm. But just trying to help somebody who'll listen. I'm not even worried about the price action at this point. We hit our buy side target. This is just me trying to help somebody. Somebody. Gotta love prop firms, though. I mean, from a business standpoint, it's a great business model. You set up a business plan in an industry where 95% of traders fail. Set up your business model to where if the traders fail, you get paid. And the small fraction of traders who do really well, you still get paid. It's a beautiful business model from an entrepreneurship standpoint. But tell y'all, the mental side, bro. $200 that comes and goes, yes, but the confidence that you lose by failing a combine after combine after combine, failing challenge after challenge, you may give 2 squats about the money you're losing, but you're not paying attention to those small little defeats. That's like, you ever heard of death by 1,000 cuts? That's what losing a combine is. I'm only talking to the people who aren't profitable yet. If you milk in prop firms and you getting payouts, that's good. You're on the consistency side. I'm talking to people who aren't consistently profitable yet, and they keep giving money to these prop firms. you're killing yourself death by 1,000 cuts. Every failed combine, it's a small little cut. Every email, small little cut. Every time they reach out saying you broke a rule, we're taking your challenge away, it's a small little cut. Every time you pay for a reset, it's a small little cut. By end of the month, it's not pretty for you. Watching see now as I get into that 15-minute fair value gap. These are cards. I don't shuffle the cards on stream because it's too loud in the mic. Like I don't just, obviously that's too loud. I'm sure somebody just woke up. So I just kind of riffle through them. It's very relaxing. Do not copy my trades. Please don't do that. I had somebody in the DM. I was talking to Tim. If you join a live stream just to copy my trade, I'll see why ICT, because at first I didn't understand when ICT would say, if you made money or lost money copying my trades, he would say, like, I don't want to hear about it, because he feels like pressure in a way where you copying ICT's trades, when he's trading, he almost feels like he's managing your account because he knows you're copying. So that's why I don't like, if you're getting funded or if you're blowing accounts or if you're making money, losing money, I don't want to hear about it. Because I tell people do not copy my trades because I'm just trying to help you read price so you can eventually do this on your own. And I said, I didn't understand. I was like, why is ICT tripping about people copying his trades? Like, just do your thing and let everybody else do their thing. But now it's like being in the spot where you're trading in front of an audience. It's like, and Mark, I'm happy for you that you're funded, but I don't want to hear about it because now, what if I have a bad week? Like this week for me, it was mid. It was a lot of break evens. You know, it was just So it's like, even though you got funded, now next week when I'm trading, and this is just real talk, because these are conversations streamers ain't gonna have with you. I'm just keeping a buck. Because now next week when I'm trading real money, my own funds. But in the back of my mind, good old Mark, he probably copying my trades. I may take a loss, normal. But Mark over here taking a loss. So now I feel like I'm trading Mark's account because you're open saying that you're copying me. But so I'm glad you're funded, but dude, like I really don't want to hear about it. And that's much love. Like I'm glad you're in the Discord and you know, hopefully improving. You know what I mean? But you know, I get what ICT's saying about, you know, just don't even tell me about it. Justin, you eat breakfast this morning? All right, let's. It's always the ones who skip breakfast that are a little cranky. I'm looking at the price action. I didn't forget, we're kind of just ranging. We've hit the buy side. We've highlighted the first presented fair value gap for the PM session being used as a breakaway gap. We've pretty much just walked it through. So unless NASDAQ gets moving and shows something in the chart that's worth talking about, then I'll address it. But for now, it's kind of just stalling, hanging around after taking out that buy side. Admittedly, that's not really a convincing run above the buy side. It's a little shallow, so I would want to see a more meaningful stab above that, perhaps into that 15-minute SIBI. Because in my opinion, if we were to break lower from here, we're kind of leaving like a double top, which is obviously something I wouldn't want to see. So here, even though yes, we traded above the high, but I need something a little more convincing than that. we gotta clean up this chat room. I'm gonna start knitting a mod soon. Let's get this up out of here. Let's get it. We'll let Justin get some Lucky Charms and cool off for a second. Toxic. This is why I don't stream on YouTube. I have so much respect for Tanya and all the other public streamers who stream on YouTube. I'm not one for the BS. Like I'll turn the comments off. Nobody could comment if I was streaming publicly like that. But I don't think Tanya looks at her comments like that. I think she used to, and then it got to a point where Tanya said like she don't even look at the comments. But yeah, they better than me. Shoot. If we lose this bullish breaker, then may see a rotation in NASDAQ. And I'm referring to this up close. Oh my goodness. I'm referring to this up close candle here in between your low, high, lower low. If we lose that, then I'll be convinced that we may see a rotation lower. And then you have the sell stops underneath all these lows. We're going to stay on for about 15 more minutes till 3 o'clock, and then I'm going to get up out of here. Preferably, I would still like this to get cleaned up, even if NASDAQ did want to rotate lower. To me, this is too smooth. And going into the weekend, I mean, this could be like something for the final hour macro to clean up, but going into the weekend with levels this clean, it's kind of suspect. Yeah. Public streets are toxic. Trading community as a whole is toxic. There's a lot of egos, a lot of finger pointing, and it's a lot of foolishness. That's why I'm about to Twitter. Most of my Twitter posts, I just turn off the comments. I'm about to turn off comments on YouTube too. It's just much more peaceful. Just you post the content, the people, watch it, support it, and that's the exchange. There's no comments in between. It's just peaceful that way. I may have moderators when I get to like 50K subs. The PM session streams are normally a little light. When I treat the morning session, we normally have around 1,000 people or so, but the PM, and it's a Friday, people are already headed out to enjoy their weekend. That's what I'm about to do. But if it gets too out of control, I'll probably just turn the comments off before I get a moderator. These are cards, my bad. Let me put them down. But I think we're going to call it a day here. Buy side hit was pretty self-explanatory delivery. If you tuned into the live stream late, you can rewind and rewatch all this when we're talking about the mitigation block and the breakaway gap and the order block in here. We talked about all this stuff. We talked about when can you know that the trade is a little suspect. We talked about this inefficiency in the lower half of the new day opening gap, and we talked about all that. So this was more of like a psychology stream for people who are going through the combines and doing the prop firm route. I hope I opened some eyes as far as just don't rush. Don't give these prop firms all your money. If you're failing combines, for one, you have to be honest with yourself. If you're not ready to pass a combine just yet, just give yourself some more time to develop. Don't keep giving your money and your last few, dollars to these prop firms. I promise you, like, it may just be $50. It may just be $100 here, $100 there. But those small little defeats of having a reset, having to start over, You may not feel it now, but that stuff is going to scar you. It adds up. So it's not all about the money and the cheap combines. It's about your confidence wavering, your mental aspect, all that stuff. And that's the stuff that you hear people say, I made $50,000 from prop firms. Look at me. That's great. Happy for them. But you need people telling you about the other side and how to protect your mental. Because if you're not right mentally, you won't see a dollar when it comes to trading. So hopefully that reaches somebody. But I'm about to go enjoy my weekend, man, and spend time with Miss Lady and probably get some food, hit the gym, log off the internet for a couple of days and just live and relax, continue to study. Discord members, we have our webinar. Where's it back testing? I think we have a webinar this weekend. Webinar Sunday at 10 a.m. We're going to cover some good stuff, so make sure you tune in then. And market review will be posted. I'll probably post the market review for today, tomorrow, because I kind of just want to close my laptop and just go outside and enjoy the nice weather. So market review will be posted tomorrow in the market review channel. Everybody else, if you're not in the Discord, you can click the link pinned in the top of the chat room or click the link in the description of this live stream. That link is also shared in my YouTube profile. Okay, join the community. It's good stuff in there. The lifetime access or whatever is still available. I'm probably going to leave it up. I'll just do away with the yearly for now. So take advantage of that. And that's it. Have a great weekend. Appreciate y'all tuning in. And I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Peace.